And welcome back to another video on Respect and to another double Collision and Rampage special. And yeah, Rampage was up first this week, and yeah, we had plenty of action, including the Continental Classic. We also had a new champion on the 3-hour extravaganza that for some reason went up against Survivor Series. Not the smartest booking decision in my opinion, but there we go. But we start things off on Rampage with Hook versus Rocky Romero. It was a great example of how AEW has skill performance at all level. Hook is still getting his career off the ground, but Romero is a journeyman. He's won titles all over the globe, of course. Romero put the youngster in his place a lot in the early exchanges by countering his offense and using his veteran experience to outsmart him. But Hook didn't let him have all the offense, even though it was clear Romero had the upper hand for more of the time. Hook's short burst offense kept him in the fight. Every time he would hit something, it was explosive. The combo would be a good choice to put in the opening slot. Romero and Hook put on a fun performance that gave Hook more opportunities to sell for his opponents than ever before. After countering Rocky's finisher, Hook choked him out with a red rum to secure the W. This gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, a really fun match to kick us off. Big win for Hook. And yeah, just decent contest between two people I thought who meshed well together. Before it's time for Statlander versus Diamante. And after losing the TBS title, Statlander was looking back to get back to go winning ways. This was their first time in singles mounting, but Diamante does hold a win over Stat in a tag match. They started things off with a simple lock-up exchange of holds. There was some aggression in how they were performing each other, but they kept respectful until Diamante decided to be the first to strike. Mercedes Martinez came out to watch, but the momentary distraction didn't slow Stat down, as she had the upper hand during the first half, but the second half wasn't much competitive. They had a few moments of awkwardness as a whole. This was a solid outing to give Diamante more TV time, and she's had in a long time. Stat picked up the win with an assist from Willow after match when Martinez tried to attack. This looked like it will lead to a tag match. So yeah, kind of building up to that. Good for Stat to get the win, of course, having lost the belt. But yeah, don't think there's too much more than that, really. Matt David and Mike Brown then gave a promo about Adam Cole and MJF before they took on two local talents in a quick match. MJF defeated them with no effort. Before the main event was Shibata versus Yuta for the Pure Championship. Lynn, Jacobs and Daniels were the judges, and after the announcers ran down the rules, made the introductions, they locked up. As expected, this felt much more personal than their previous encounter. Yuta wanted to prove that he had learned enough in 8 months since their match Supercard and Honor to defeat him. Yuta ended up reclaiming the title, but had to resort to a low blow, so this helped Yuta look like a heel and protected Shibata a bit. The often disingenuous handshake before a second low blow and a DDT was a really strong way to end it as well. Made Yuta look good. Shibata taking a break, so all in all makes sense. And I thought, yeah, did great for him. So yeah, get 7 out of 10 from me. Before it's time for the collision portion of the show with Garcia versus Castagnoli in the blue bracket of the Continental Classic. For Garcia, this was about more than winning some points. He's someone with a lot of fans feel have been in the BCC, but he was put into the JS instead of McCain Sports Entertainer. Now Red Death is looking to prove he's more than just a funny dance. He wants to show everyone he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and someone like Claudio gave him the chance to do that. As expected, this was a top display from both men. The story they were telling was similar to Garcia v Shibata in that it was a veteran versus young talent, but they told their stories in totally different ways. Yuta wasn't the underdog, but Garcia was. Garcia survived a lot, but was unable to kick out a Swiss powerbomb, and Cesaro got the victory. So yeah, big win for him. But I thought the way Garcia put up a strong fight here, I think, yeah, gave him some credibility, and I think, yeah, he will come back later in the tournament, so no issues with it. Before it's time for Kill Switch, obviously, Luchasaurus taking on the boys in a handicap match. This was short. The Masked Man made quick work of them, breaking a folding chain and chokeslammed out onto one of the twins after the match, but Copeland arrived to resent him from doing it. Copeland hit two concertos, and the match was shorter than the post-match attack, but it got Copeland to pop up the crowd. Copeland gave a backstage promo. We're looking like we're getting him versus Cage for the TNT title in a few weeks in Canada and Dynamite. That's going to be absolutely insane. Yeah, bit of a shame to job out the boys like that, but except for that, the rest of this segment was brilliant, setting that up perfectly. Before we got the House of Black taking on Gravity and Commander. The High Flyers had a few opportunities to show off their skills. For the most part, this was a dominant performance by the House of Black. Both Black and Matthews were clearly frustrated losing at Full Gear, so it looked like they were being extra vicious when they could and could have won this sooner. This won't be remembered as a classic, but it did a good job setting them in the right direction. And yeah, the bout lasted longer than it needed to maybe, but Blake and Murphy picked up a solid and predictable victory. And yeah, it made sense, and yeah, hopefully gets the crowd into them ahead of a renewed push. But yeah, it gets 6 out of 10 from me. We then got Julia Hart versus Lady Frost for the TBS title. Lady Frost got the big opportunity, and yeah, Hart was overpowered at first, but she quickly showed Frost that she was not to be overlooked. Both of them got in some stiff shots early, but Frost's gymnastic ability helped her steal the spotlight a bit. A couple of shots ended up looking sloppy due to lack of experience working together, but got most of what it was needed to. Hart won to retain her title, and yeah, this gets 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, a solid match here, nothing blow away, but for Hart's first TBS title, I think, yeah, it's really just about cementing her as champion, and that kind of did the job here. So yeah, not much more to complain about, and it'll be interesting to see where her reign goes in the future. But yeah, like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. Before it's time for the Righteous versus FTR, and yeah, Lance Archer and Jake Roberts were nowhere to be seen, so this was an even match. Ditch was on putting up more of a fight than Vincent before the break, but this bout was all FTR. The Righteous began making a comeback during the picture-in-picture portion, but FTR made a comeback when the show returned, so the majority of what we saw without breaks was FTR dominating. It's great to see the Righteous getting more time on TV, but AEW needs to be more consistent. Then where's G Grayson, where are Archer and Roberts? Does the Righteous even have an agenda right now? A fun but basic tag contest with FTR scoring a win with the Shadow Machine. Black and Matthews came during the crowd and did not attack. They're just taunting FTR, mentioning CM Punk, which is quite ironic given what happened later. But yeah, that was all it was to it. Simple win for FTR, just a continuation of that feud in long form way of doing it. 6 out of 10. Before it's time for Lee versus Lee, Keith versus Moriarty. And yeah, with Moriarty being Shane Taylor's current associate, he and the Limitless One had a built-in feud. This was a battle of two completely different styles. Moriarty, of course, favouring speed, but Keith's a power health. He's capable of occasional feats of agility. They put on a fun match that allowed both men to use their respective arsenals to give us entertaining spots. Moriarty getting a babyface reaction from his hometown crowd was nice to see, but he did a good job making it clear he was still a hero who just appreciated the love. Keith hit a huge slam to score the win by pinfall, but his real feud with Taylor. Let's hope AEW follows up on that soon. But yeah, I think that's kind of did the job that they need to do here, so not complaining. Before it's time for Kingston versus Brody Lee in the Classic. The House of Black had already picked up 2 wins on the show, so King was looking to make it hat-trick. Kingston, however, was fighting to keep the titles. He worked so hard to earn. This is only one of those matches that people use a gif on Big E seeing big meaty men stopping around Meech to describe it. It was brutal, hard-hitting and entertaining. Both of these guys were physical as it gets, so treating them to fight is always going to be a treat. They filled the last 20 minutes of the show with a lot of action, had the crowd cheering left, right and centre. Although each other put each other through hell, Kingston succumbed to a huge powerbomb from King to pick up the victory. And yeah, does that technically make King RH champion now? Who knows? But yeah, I thought, like I said, this is brilliant. Perfect way to go off the show. Bit of a shock as well. I can see Kingston fighting back, but for Brody King, that's a massive victory. So yeah, great stuff. And yeah, overall Rampage and Collision gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, this was a really fun 3 hours of wrestling. Obviously, we had the fun title match in the first part. And yeah, and then we had, obviously, the great match in the Continental Classic, setting out Edge versus Christian. So yeah, that all worked really nicely. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And also for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.